Okay, we're going to be methods for dividing by 2, multiplying by 5, and multiplying by 25. First, let's start off with a review of dividing by 2. So we have all even numbers, so we're going to divide by 2 by starting from left going to right, always from left to right. So half of 8, 4, half of 6, that's an even number, 3, half of 4 is 2. Right? So 864 divided by 2, 432. Now, what happens when you have odd numbers? Well, starting from left to right, we have half of 6, that's 3. We cannot take half of an odd number 7, so we're going to borrow 1 from the 7, so it becomes a 6. And the 1 that we borrow will go here to the number behind here, which is 4. So now we get 14. So now we take half of 6, half of 6, and half of 14. That'll be 3, 3, and 7. And that's 674 divided by 2. Next, what happens when we have more odd numbers? Well, we do more borrowing. So the 5, that's not an odd number, we're going to make that a 4. And the 1 that we borrow from the 4 will go here to the 5. So this becomes a 15. Okay. Now, 4 you can take half of, that's 2. But you cannot take half of 15. So we're going to borrow 1 from the 15 to make it 14. And the borrowed 1 will go over here to the 6, making that a 16. So now we have 4, 14, and 16. Half of that will be 2, 7, and 8. So half of 556 will be 278. All right, now multiplying by 5. Multiplying by 5, we start the same process of dividing by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. With multiplying by 5, we add a 0 to the end. So 864 times 5 is going to be 4,320. So again, remember to add the 0 at the end when multiplying by 5. Okay, we're going to multiply 674 by 5, so we need to take half of this number. Half of the 6 is 3. You cannot take half of a 7, so we're going to borrow 1 from it. So it becomes 6. And the borrowed 1 goes to the 4, so we get 14. So half of the 6 is 3. Half of the 14 is 7. And since we're multiplying by 5, we're going to add a 0. So 674 times 5 is going to be 3,370. Now let's multiply by 25. When we multiply by 25, we're actually multiplying by 5 twice. So 86 times 5, we take half, which is 4, 3, and add the 0. This right here is multiplying by 5. If we multiply by 5 again, we take half of 4, which is 2. We have a 30 here. Half of 30 is going to be 15. And then we add a 0. So 86 times 25 is going to be 2,150. All right, let's do one more. We have a 74, and we're going to multiply that times 25. Okay. First, let's start off by multiplying by 5. I cannot take half of 7, so we're going to make this into a 6, and the borrowed 1 is going to make this a 14. So we're going to take half of 6 and half of 14, which would be 3 and 7. And then because we're multiplying by 5, we're going to add a 0. So 370. From here, we want to multiply by 5 once again, so we need half of 3. So I'm going to turn this into a 2, and the borrowed 1 goes over here, and that becomes a 17. And I'm running out of room on top here, so I'm going to lower this just a little bit. 3, and 7 will go here, and 0 there, 2, 17. Okay, it's a little better. I got more room now on top. All right, so You cannot take half of 17, so we're going to do some more borrowing. We make that a 16, and the borrowed 1 will go here with the 0. So you have a 2, a 16, and a 10. So half of 2 is 1, half of 16, 8, half of 10 is 5. And because we're multiplying by 5, we're going to add another 0. So 74 times 25 is 1,850.